Welcome to the Tomb of the Dead. No. Welcome back to some more Planet Coaster 2. And today we are building an indoor launched, dark theme, Viking theme roller coaster. And right now we are inside the queue and station. And oh man, this place came out great. I went for the whole mountain themed castle tomb vibe. Sort of like the Lord of the Rings. I mean, this really came out great. It's nice and dark. The fire just puts a great ambience in it. And the queue right in front of the launch. I kind of had inspiration from Velocicoaster to build this ride. As you can see, I put the queue right by the launch, sort of like how Velocicoaster has it. But you know, no raptors here. So hopefully we might be able to see a train come by real quick, just to give you the feel. As you can see, the station in the background. We got some park goers getting on the ride. But yeah, man, I am so amazed with Planet Coaster 2. I know there's bugs and there's some things missing, but the things you are able to create, like if you think of it, if you dream it, you can build it. I don't mean to sound cliche, but it's freaking amazing. This game has really allowed me to create exactly the vibes and things I've been going for. Oh, here comes a train. Beautiful, so beautiful. So like when people are waiting in line, they get to see the train fly by. That's going to be awesome. So without any further ado, let's hop into this ride, because this took a lot. So welcome back guys, and this is my Viking land, and as you can see I added a mountain in the background here, and the mountain is going to be the location for this roller coaster. I don't know if you remember my first episode, I wanted to have a roller coaster inside of a mountain. We're still doing that. This is just a different mountain, and what we're doing here is we're going to build the indoor area of the roller coaster. So I don't know if you guys have ever built underground roller coasters in this game before, but it ends up being just a bunch of like tunnels, and you lose the orientation of what you're doing, if you're going upside down or not. You really don't know because there's no point of reference really. So I don't want it to be a tunnel simulator roller coaster. So here we're just going to build out a nice indoor spot in this mountain. We're going to carve out a location for our roller coaster to sit. I sort of want the vibes of Skull Mountain in Great Adventure. If you guys haven't picked up by now, Great Adventure is my local area roller coaster theme park. So I love to mimic and get inspiration from Six Flags Great Adventure. So I'm going to try and make an indoor area sort of like Skull Mountain. I mean, the roller coaster is not going to be anything like Skull Mountain, but I'm going for that vibe. I want you to be indoors in the dark, but I still want you to have a little glimmer of light to see what's going on, because I feel that you need that for a roller coaster. You need the orientation and point of reference. You know, it adds to the excitement. If you're just in a black, you can't see where you're going. I mean, I know the appeal of that, but no, I don't want to have that type of feel. I want you to kind of see what you're doing, but I want it to be dark and indoors, and I want the whole beginning of the roller coaster to be in one location built inside. So we're going to start building up the ride here. I want to have a nice launch area. As I told you before, I took a lot of inspiration from Velocicoaster to build this roller coaster. So I want to have a nice launch. It's not going to be too fast, and you're going to really feel the airtime and the lateral G's and stuff that Velocicoaster kind of does for its indoor area of the paddock. And basically I wanted to have two launches on this roller coaster. The first area is where you see in here, where we're building our roller coaster indoors, and the second area I want to launch completely out of the mountain. I want to try and we probably won't be able to go to the top of the mountain because you'll need a lot of thrust, but I want to launch out to a hi-hat where people get a view of outside and then they come back in. So without any further ado, let's get into this build. So I wanted to have an overbank turn. The first element that I used I really wasn't liking, and as you're going to see in the end, I wind up actually changing that in the very end. And then, like I said, we're not going to have nothing crazy in here. I just want you to have nice lateral G's, some nice inversions. We're going to do a little barrel roll here. I'm going to try and home make all my inversions. I don't want to use the elements as I decided, because the first one, it just they give a very retro vibe to the elements that the game provides. So over here I want to have a nice little stall where we go over the beginning of the roller coaster, and then we're going to do a little bit of inverted 90-degree roll, push you into the seat, get a lot of lateral G's there. Was it negative G's, I guess? I don't know all the roller coaster terms and you know, to describe the air times and all that, but after that we're going to go into a helix into a barrel, and I wanted to bring the launch back towards the queue so you could see the second launch from the line of the queue. The first attempt, it just looked like I was going to come in a little too hot, so I wanted to have the launch start a little bit further in the background. So we came back towards the back of the roller coaster, the front of the roller coaster, pardon, and we're going to have enough space here to where I can have my launch for the hi-hat. So after we have the launch, I'm going to go straight up and as high as I can through the mountain, which I worked out perfectly because it's right next to Valhalla. Right next to Thor. So, maybe if you could get rides to sync up one day, you could have this roller coaster coming over right as Thor drops down its hill. So I was having a tough time trying to get the hi-hat over here. You have to kind of roll into it. You can't just go straight down. So just figuring out the right ways to have it. It's going to be probably the best airtime hill of the roller coaster, of course, because you're going probably over 100 feet up. After that, I don't want this roller coaster to be super long, so there's not going to be a lot after the second part of the roller coaster. I just want to have a little bit of a brake run. We're going to turn around and try and go right back to the station. And that should be a good feel and length for the roller coaster. I don't want it to be too crazy long. So we add the brake run and we just turn back to the coaster. And it's not too bad. I'm kind of happy with how this turned out. It's just hopefully it's not too crazy. First test run here. Doing a little bit of park management. There's so much that goes wrong with these roller coasters. I might have to turn down the condition of the roller coasters because it's just too much when you're building. Alright, perfect launch into this first element. Ooh, I really don't like that element at all. That's why I ended up trying to change it. Gonna make it a little bit bigger. Okay, let's try it again. It came around a little bit too fast and too tight. Future here, and I actually deleted that whole element and changed it to a custom overbank to 90, so we don't actually do that 180 at the top. So if you see this roller coaster in the future, that's how it actually is. Over the stall there, perfect speed on that stall. Oh man, that is beautiful. Coming around to the second launch. Oh, that's a little fast there. Might need a little less speed. I don't want it to be so fast over the hill. And let's see what this is. Man, that must have came right through that brake run. I think it flew right through the brake run. This might be not good, guys. Ooh, 3 excitement, 16 fear, way too scary. And I think it's the hi-hat speed. We definitely gonna have to slow down the hi-hat. We don't need that much speed. And it actually turned out to be after the hi-hat, the turn coming around was just way too fast. People's brains was pushed into their balls. So I ended up putting a brake run right after the drop. And I put the brakes on the bottom of the drop so you get a gradual slowdown before you turn around. The point of the element was really just to get the airtime at the top of the hill. And after that, I want the roller coaster to be done. You go back to the station. So as we come down, you get a nice break right into the turn. And what I ended up having was a pretty good result. So right here, this is pretty much the finished build. The only difference to the build is that I ended up taking out the first element right after the launch, the first launch, where you bank over, you turn 180 and you come back down. I ended up building my own custom turn, which you will see probably right after this test, but this test here, it turned out to be the perfect speed for everything, and the excitement was a good rating. That's the perfect airtime I want you to have there on that hi-hat. As you come down, you just get a nice gradual stop, sort of like King Dakar. Nothing crazy. It's just, unfortunately, after that brake run, it ruins the excitement because you're just going 15 miles per hour back to the station. And if you don't know, that's what kind of ruins your excitement. So you don't want to have chain hills too slow, and you don't want to have your brake run too far away from your station, because when they're going through there, they're only going through with like a 1 or 2 in excitement. So that will ruin the overall excitement of your roller coaster, but sometimes sacrifices have to be made. So now that the roller coaster is done, just building out our exit and entrance, I want to try and simplify things. So we put the fast pass right by the exit, and the regular queue will be sort of right in front of the second launch. When you're waiting, I want you to see roller coaster trains just flying by. So nothing too crazy, nice and simple, because I have to enclose everything into a keep, and that's what we're going for. We're going for like a medieval Viking keep built into the mountains, maybe like a dwarven type of vibe, sort of like I told you in the beginning. We're like Lord of the Rings indoor keep Viking themed build station. Nothing too crazy. So we're enclosing the second launch in these pillars so that you can see the train all the way through, no matter where you're standing in line. And the indoor part of this station is going to be pretty simple. It's just going to be a simple box that's going to just enclose the station, because I don't want you to see the roller coaster while you're waiting in line. And the eyes won't be on it, because you won't really see this part of the station from the outside. So it just has to be an enclosure and presentable enough so that if you do see it from the roller coaster point of view, that it looks presentable. So we're just putting a roof on it and enclosing all the gaps. And I was pretty happy with the indoor stations that I decided to start doing the daunting task of this build, and that is building the castle on the outside. So I want to go for, it's kind of built into the mountain, and it's just in like a little cove area. People built it here because it was perfectly protected on all sides. Only the entrance, you only had to guard one way in, one way out. So now we're just building the beginning first 2 levels of the roller coaster. I had to put a floor on the inside so that you don't see the mountain, and it looks like it's a building inside while you're inside. Here I want to build an enclosure for the launch area of the roller coaster. Like I said, I got a lot of inspiration from Velocicoaster, so just picture Velocicoaster but in the medieval times, Viking themed. When I have the lights and the torches inside, that's going to look really good. So now we're going back outside as I have my basic layout, and we're just raising it up as we go. So I want to have 2 watchtowers. I started building the left one here. And I'm trying to add as much detail as I can to the first building stage. And once you have that first watchtower, the basic form you want to have, I just copy and pasted to the other sides just for symmetry. And I didn't want it to look like it started kind of looking like a Mario castle, so I had to just kind of uneven things. I don't want it to look so symmetrical, like perfect, because I think these keeps here, the nuances and the sizes and the differences of all the towers and the features of the castle is what makes it look good. So again, once you build something, don't forget to go back to it once or twice, change things up, add to things. It really makes the build come to life. Like the first time you build something is not the last time. So once we enclose that roof here, it's going to completely kill most of the sunlight to the inside. So I wanted to add some more natural light coming in. So we added some of these archways just to add some light. And I was pretty happy with how the basic form of the castle came out. So we started adding some details and trims already have ideas as I watch back and edit this video. Like, I have ideas on things I want to do to change the form of the castle, you know, of things I want to do to add to it, you know. And that's another thing I love of making these videos, is I get to review my process of how I went through things and, you know, revise it. And that's what I've done with a lot of the roller coasters that I've already built. After I've edited the video, I see like, oh, I wanted to change this, and I went back and I changed it. And we're definitely going to do a walkthrough, because the half of the park that I have built right now is so beautiful. So I want you guys to see just, you know, the flow of the park and where all the different rides you've watched are, you know, in the park, and just a first review, because this is going to be a very big project for me. I'm probably going to spend at least a year building this park out and the different changes. I want it to be perfect. I'm trying to build a perfect, realistic looking theme park. So the first half I think has come out really well, and just look ahead for that video coming. Also, with the new update coming in, I think the beginning of December, where we're going to have like unloading stations and different things like that, I want to keep some area in the park open for the new updates. Not to say that I won't build any other parks in the life of Planet Coaster 2, but this park here I want to take a pretty good time and make it look really nice, because, you know, I want to put all the skills I've learned from Planet Coaster 1 to use and make a pretty big, nice, beautiful dream park. Not to mention, I think it's time for me to finally dive into the water park aspects of this game, and I don't want to miss that, so we'll probably focus on that coming up. So building out here, I want the keep to be enclosed. I want it to look like it's hard to spot unless you know, so I want it to have that kind of claustrophobic vibe. And then now we're building out a moat, because of course it wouldn't be a good castle without a nice moat, so that's what we're doing right here. And right now, I mean, it's coming together quite well. It's just adding the finer details. We started adding some windows and some trim to the roller coaster, or should I say to the castle. And that's what really makes the structure come alive, is, you know, just spending the time adding things. I wanted to add a wooden fence here so that you have a fort type feel. So this will be the last roller coaster I add into the park, as I go back and, you know, fine tune things, do some walkthroughs, and I think we're going to focus on a water park the next video, so stay tuned for that. So I'm not going to bore you guys with all the finer details and things. This is how the first part comes out. So not to leave the hi-hat undone, I wanted to add a nice little Viking statue, so when you come up for some airtime, you get to see this statue here holding the banner of the Vikings. There's a lot of nice set pieces for the Viking set. I really had a nice good time building out this area and this land, and I can't wait to see what Planet Coaster brings for the future updates and different themes. So here we go. Version 1, Set 2 of Valhalla. That's the name of this roller coaster. And rumor has it, if you listen closely, you can hear a dragon fly through, protecting the castle. That wasn't even planned. I just wanted to build a nice kiddie ride, and it was in the dragon theme, and I'm like, holy crap, this looks like a dragon flying around the castle. It was definitely not intended, but I love that. That is Freya's dragon protecting the keep. I really love the way this came out. So let's walk through. Let's see everything. We're going to kind of look at the first version of this castle. I don't want to bore you guys with how much changes and things, because then this video would be about 2 hours long. I already condensed 4 hours of work into about a 20-minute video here, and I think it came out freaking awesome. I really love how the rocks are on the side, building especially on the right side. And this great entrance hallway here. I already see things I need to change, and it's just a great grand opening. I wanted the high vaulted ceilings. I wanted the feeling of verticality. Over there on the right side is the employees only section for the power that powers this ride. A launch roller coasters really take a lot of power. It's crazy. So I have a whole section for just power on the right side, and as you walk through the main hallway for the queue, you get to see some beautiful Viking scenery made an axe and 2 shields as the focal point of the whole hallway into the indoor section. And boy, with the torches, like I told you, this area really comes alive. It is super beautiful, super detailed, and there's more that I want to add. Like I said, this area could use some set pieces. This is where you're going to be waiting for the most time. I just don't want to commit to one certain theme yet, but we're definitely going to build an attraction for the indoor waiting area. So I love how when you're waiting in line, you're able to see the station in the background. And yeah, there's a lot more changes to come to this. So for now, let's do what we always do, and let's ride the ride. Yeah, well, thank you guys for joining me in this video. This was the exact idea I had that I wanted to come, and it just came out perfectly in my ideas. Now it's just a matter of doing the finer details, adding certain things and elements to the roller coaster, and doing that on an indoor roller coaster is so much harder, with the camera. But yeah, I have so much more things for you guys to see, so much more stuff for you guys to witness. So don't forget to smash that subscribe, hit that like so you don't miss out on the development of SimmyLand. Great adventure. I cannot wait for you guys to see the next video where I'm going to focus on doing a walkthrough so you guys can see what I've built so far. And after the walkthrough, we're definitely going to focus more probably on water rides. So yeah, without any further ado, guys, enjoy the outside view, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.